Hello and welcome to the morning show teeing off with RevSportz. This is me, Rohan Chaudhary, and very good morning to all of you present. And today is a big day for Indian women's team playing the World Cup T20 World Cup in South Africa. The semi-final versus Australia, and a very difficult match. But yes, we can defeat Australia. And to discuss at a stretch on the Women's World Cup and more, we have Trisha Ghoshal, Atul Mukhopadhyay, and Devashish Sen.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, all of you. Good morning. A big match, perhaps the most difficult test for India. And
Well, you can't say the most difficult test because, England have also done well. South
yeah,
Africa probably, I would say, okayish, but England and Australia both are going to be difficult. And I think from the beginning of the tournament, we all knew that these
yeah,
are the things that's going to be the big test for you.
of course. And yes, as we say, difficult. So to defeat Australia is not impossible, but a very huge task, and India would need an upset. And to create that upset, what's the main focus should be for Indian team? Coming to you, Trisha, first.
The focus should be, to be very honest, I think we have to chase first because it doesn't seem that we are good at setting totals right now. Let's not talk about in general as such. Otherwise, we do have a good bowling side. It's just that our performance has been average at best, I would say. I mean, some of the performances have been below average as well. So everyone has to come together, play as a team. Genuinely don't know what is going on in Harman's mind. It must be tough for her right now. Being Harmanpreet Kaur is probably one of the toughest things in this country so far, right? But yeah, I mean, you need big performances from Shafali Verma, you need big performances from Harmanpreet Kaur, and then as in the bowling unit, we need Deepti, we need Rajeshwari. All of them have to stand up, and all of them are experienced enough.
Yes, and you have been talking on this that a 60% might do against Pakistan and Ireland, but 110% might be not enough for Australia. So, do you agree to it, Atul?
Yeah, to an extent I do, because when you're playing teams like England or Australia, you have to be your 110%. So that's where, you have to chip in. Every part of the body has to function, not just one or two. So that is going to be very important, and you have to fire as a unit to beat teams like England and Australia, and that's what Indians have to do today. Good.
Yeah, yeah. And Tisha was mentioning about Harmanpreet Kaur. Coming to Devashish, as our Shubhan Chakraborty reports from South Africa that yesterday also Harmanpreet Kaur did not practice. Yes, against the match versus Ireland she practiced, but keeping her tradition of not practicing on the eve of the match, Harman did not practice yesterday. Your thoughts on that, Devashish?
Just a second. I wanted to know when did this become a tradition? That is the important part, because this was not the tradition always. I'm sorry, Devashish, for interrupting, but it was not the ritual always, and I have confirmed from her old teammates that this was not the ritual. So yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Come back to you, Tisha, on this.
I can only give you the example of the men's team because I have been following men's team for last 15 years or so, and I have never seen a captain. Yeah, this has been the modern day norm that all the players, they don't come to training. Mostly you see optional training sessions. If you look at the video release or the norm, mostly the Indian team has optional training sessions, but that doesn't mean, say, for instance, Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli not turning up for practice on the eve of a big clash, which is very, very strange for me, because see, being the captain of the team, at least if you are not practicing, you should be in the park, means cheering the teammates, means egging on, because it's a big match coming up, and you are not amongst the best of form. So I don't know, strange things happen, but as far as men's cricket is concerned, you would not ever see a Rohit Sharma or a Virat Kohli not turning up on the eve of a big clash. They might not be practicing, but they will definitely be there. And coming back to the match against Australia, it's a mountain to climb. Let me put it this way. It's 22 out of 30 times Australia has dominated. Australia won against India. And if you look at their overall statistics, I was just going through 54 times Australia has won out of 63 times
Yeah.
against top opponents in T20 cricket. So that
That
speaks the
is that
dominance.
is only since the start of
It
2018.
got since 2018, 54 out of 63 times. See the dominance. So let's keep sharp. Let's put our best shot. Let all our players chip in and perform to the best of their ability, and let's see what happens. But if you see on paper, Australia are overwhelmingly favorites to win this match. Means also, and the fact that our top orders have not fired in the tournament, only Shriti Mandana, Jemima Rodriguez, and to some extent Richa Ghosh. She has been not out in all three matches. All our top orders have not fired. Our top orders need to fire. Let me put it straight away. The top four, that looks a very decent top order. Shafali Verma, Shriti Mandana, Harman, and Richa, and also Dipti to some extent. The top five needs to fire, and all you have to do is to play as a team, which was not the case. It was only individual brilliance that has won matches so far in the tournament. So India, to make a match out of it against Australia, we need to play as a team.
Of course, I was adding something that Smriti Mandhana is currently the second highest run getter so far with 149 runs, but her average is 49.66, while Alisa Haley in the third place with 146 runs, her average is 73. So, do you think that Smriti is becoming much more concerned while batting, that she is the main hope, and if she gets out, it will be a problem for India? So that mindset, do you think it's affecting the bat team, Trisha?
It would ideally, if you know the rest of the batters are not in form and a lot of the batting depends on you, then automatically you will somewhere be curbing your instincts to go for shots. Well, having said that, she's also nursing an injury because we have clearly seen her
Yeah,
fingers trapped. And I think I've been harping on this point. If you have a finger strap, that too on your bottom hand, I'm sure gripping is tough. Holding the bat is tough. But all said and done, she has still played well. She has come out. She has scored two back-to-back 50s. Only second women's cricketer to do that in a World Cup for India. First one, of course, being Mithali in the 2018 World Cup. But then again, Richa has already failed. So that law of averages we have got out of the way. But Mandana's law of averages we have still not, gone out of the way.
yeah,
Mandana also, see, Smriti is very good at chasing. I would say, okay, I'll put it this way: she's better at chasing targets. So there are a lot of ifs and buts. That's my problem. That is the problem. The other thing, if I can add to Devashish's point, see, Harman not coming for practice is not completely about her. No, it is also about the team. When your team is playing average brand of cricket, I think you have a lot of youngsters, say a Richa who has just scored a zero, or someone like a Pooja. Are you speaking to her? As a captain, you might not want to practice. You might just take throwdowns, or you might not practice at all. You can come and speak to them. You can be with the team because this is a
yeah,
big
yeah,
clash and it's knockout. You're not going to come back. Against England, you lose, you have the next match. Here, you lose, you're out.
yeah.
And we have been near but far for a long time now.
Acha, do you agree to her?
See, it's not a question of agreeing and disagreeing. What matters more to me is, I mean, how things stand, which is that if India plays Australia, this Indian side takes on this Australian side 10 times, they'll probably lose 7 or 8 of those matches. Now, you don't know what is going to happen in the remaining 2 or 3. And as in, from an Indian point of view, I would like to think that they would also be thinking on such lines that, okay, it doesn't matter. I mean, consistently over a period of time, Australia would be better, would be ahead of us. But there will come a day which will be our day, and on that day we have to make things count. I mean, which is that day when our bowlers, our batters, our fielders, everybody will have to be at their best, and if they can do that, they can beat anybody. I don't have any doubt about that. I mean, Australia are definitely a better side, and there are questions like that we have discussed. Harmanpreet Kaur, captain, not coming to practice and not interacting with teammates during practice. These are talks which are worth a bit of discussion, definitely. But we also finally do not know what exactly transpired. Whether she has an injury problem, whether she has an illness, all those things we do not know. So let us be not so pessimistic and look forward to a good contest where Indians have potential wise, talent wise, resources wise. Indians do have what it takes to uh, run Australia close. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so as you said about being optimistic, so what are the strengths of India, of this Indian team according to you, Astro? Whatever the strengths you have seen so far?
I think strengths are definitely certain set of individuals. Smriti Mandhana, we
Yeah,
all know,
that's
we have
true.
seen, and if she has a good day, then she can kick the match away from the opposition in no time. There is Shefali Verma, who can be a very devastating presence up front, on top, early on. And we have seen Richa Ghosh taking responsibility at slightly lower down the order and playing some robust shots, which takes everybody by surprise. And we have a decent bowling attack on paper at least. Renuka Thakur has taken wickets,
Yeah.
and if conditions favor, then if she takes 2 wickets early on in the first 2 overs, then nobody knows what happens. And we have Pooja Vastrakar, we have Deepthi Sharma, Rajeshwari Gaikwad, who have done well in the past. Their economy rates in the ongoing tournament is not very encouraging, I must say, but they have it in them what it takes to make a match of it. And it's a question of one day, one game. I mean, let's not get into what has happened over the last 7 matches or 10 matches or and a longer period of time. But if you look at what they have done from time to time, I think there is reason to be optimistic, and that's how it stands at the moment. I, Rohan.
Anything to add, Devashish? Yes,
Yeah,
your smile says
obviously,
something.
I would say that beating India's best chance to beat Australia is this format. One individual brilliance can take away the match. Say at 60 or 30 balls from a Sriti Mandana or Harmanpreet Kaur striking form at the right moment, or a Shafali Verma playing a devastating knock at the top of the order. Say up 40 or 20 balls. That can set the tone. You need that individual brilliance because and the best chance for India to beat Australia in this format is this format. T20 format means it all it requires is a individual brilliance. Means obviously it's a team sport, but in a format like this, you need a great spell of bowling. Say Ranuka Thakur taking those, as Arturo said, striking, take the early strikes because he has been taking wickets for India regularly in this tournament. So maybe getting early inroads, 2-3 wickets in the top at the top, that can set back the Australians. So I am very optimistic. See, don't follow women's cricket, but I am very optimistic and I would be rooting for the Indian women's team. All guns blazing, and I could see the smile in Trisha's face as well. So we will be rooting for India, come what may.
Top three
Absolutely.
strengths for
And
Indian team, Trisha.
you know uh, so since we have been talking about the Indian team, you also have to understand, Rohan, they have their weaknesses as well. You just need, as Debashish and Nathra both said, I will repeat, you just need to use those weaknesses, and you never know if it's a good day for, say, a Deepthi and a Smriti, Deepthi with the ball and Smriti with the bat. We can be well ahead of them because, see, there are loads of statistics against us, but one of the biggest force, you can say, is that Australia recently has conceded only 8 totals above 160,
And five
and
of them
five of
against
them
India.
have been against us. So we
Yes.
are
Yeah.
we generally do well, and see, as a team also we will be more pumped up to perform against Australia. Everyone knows this is the big stage, and anyway
And
players
don't
want to
forget,
perform. Nobody comes out with the mentality that, oh, today we don't need to perform. So they'll be charged up. They will badly want to perform, especially I'm sure they'll be inspired by the fact that the under 19s just won a cup.
yeah.
So there are a lot
And
of positives, and till the match is over in cricket, you never know. I mean, we were all
and
talking about, see, for example, India's last match. We were all talking about how we will walk past Ireland, but
yeah,
Ireland won just by 5 runs. Yes, you can always argue that it was in Duckworth twist, but yes, we have seen strange things happen in cricket. And I wouldn't call it an upset. If India defeats Australia, it's not an upset. India is
Yeah,
almost
India
there.
is yes, India is a
yeah,
It's
strong
not an
side.
upset.
yeah,
India is
yeah.
a
In
strong side.
semi-final, both the
Currently, we
teams.
haven't performed well, but it won't be an upset. Yes, it's a mountain to climb, but someday you'll climb the mountain. No, it's fine.
Let's take the positive side. Harmanpreet scores 171, but in 2017. So, so if you
There
were
is
the
something interesting in so in the 2017 World Cup. Just before the semi-finals, there was overcast conditions, and they were not sure when the match will start. So the girls
okay,
actually went empty stomach because there was no food for them because of this confusion when the match will start. So maybe
okay,
the best way to go about is keep Harman hungry today also before she goes out to bat, so that she can get her best
and
performance. You never know, superstitions.
let's hope that that's the day that Harman fires that we need. Yeah,
Absolutely.
But
yeah, and
I think Trisha, do you think that Radha Yadav will make will come back into the Indian team instead of Devika Vaidya?
yeah,
I think she should, because a few Australian batters, especially the likes of Lanning and Perry, they are a little vulnerable against left arm
Left arm
orthodox.
spin.
But having said that, I don't know if it should be Devika Vedya, because we do need leg spinners as well. So I'm a little confused. Maybe, but the only place I can see is, of course, her coming in place of Devika Vedya, because we do need that left arm spin. And Rajeshwari has looked very, very ordinary so far. But it's no way to count her out. No, no way. She's a very, very good bowler, and she can strike at in important matches. Rajeshwari getting a fifer, we are there.
yeah, and it will be an interesting contest, and we will have Sugan Chakraborty from the ground with the pre-match shows, lives, the mood, and I think today will be a buzzing day in Newlands. And we have some fans, viewers' comments, so let's take some questions. Akash Yadav saying why we can't field a leg spinner when every good women team has one top class leg spinner like King, Sarah Glenn, Amelia Kerr, etc. We can't find one spinner when in T20 format. It's a must. Thoughts, Trisha?
See, if you're expecting Poonam Yadav, then see, first of all, Parshavi Chopra has done well for India in the under 19s, but of course, it's for the selectors and captains to understand if she's there for the, in that level to come to the senior level or not. Other than that, leg spinner, yes, we after Poonam Yadav, we don't have a good leg spinner. I agree. Um, Maybe you have to go to the domestic, because in domestics, I think every team has a leg spinner. So, what is going on in the selector's mind? Why aren't they in the team and all that? I mean, that's another story altogether. But talking about Alana King, it's one thing to have the spinner; it's other thing taking wickets. King hasn't taken wickets in this World Cup. She's wicketless till now, till this match. So it's not like you can only win if there is a leg spinner. I think they take a lot of wickets. That's a taking kind of bowling. But then again, whatever works for your team, balance, I think.
And down the line, we won't have this problem, Akash. Akash, don't worry, we have the Women's Premier League coming. We will have lots of players coming in from the team. We have seen what IPL has done to men's cricket. I'm sure in 3 years' time, we'll have the same for women's cricket. And we had a great discussion on the T20 World Cup. We all will be watching it. Will have a live show from the studio where Shubhan Chakraborty will be joining us. Thank you, Trisha, for joining. And
Thank you so much.
thank you. And we'll continue with Devashish Sen and Atro Mukhopadhyay. And uh, the Australian ODI team has been released. Maxwell makes a comeback. Coming to you, Devashish first.
Yeah, that's look a very good side on paper. We see with Maxwell returning and Marcus Stoinis and also Mitchell Marsh. So obviously Australia will be looking to bounce back after the bashing it has so far received at the hands of the Indian in the Test series. So, but they are a very decent side on paper as far as this series is. And remember, this is a very important series for both the teams because the World Cup is in India in October. So it's a very important series for both the teams. So they can gauge the strength and
Yeah,
weaknesses of each other.
Atro, your thoughts?
Yeah, see, I mean, as Debashi said, that on paper it's a very strong side. I mean, possibly the best combination that Australia could put together at the moment, depending on fitness and other availability of players and all that. And we also must not forget that in 2019, before the previous 50 over World Cup, Australia came to India, and it was a five-match one-day series. They lost the first two matches and went on to win the series 3-2. So they have it in them to overpower India in Indian conditions. They have done that they have done that before that also. In 2009, for the seven-match series, which Ricky Ponting won after some seesaw battle. So obviously, there is no reason to believe that Australia will not stand a chance in the one-day series after a very disappointing performance in the Test series so far, because these two are different formats and they have got different specialists in the two sides, test side and one day side. And Cameron Green is in that squad, and we all know what kind of a difference all rounders can make. They have others also like Marcus Stoinis, who's a Mitchell Marsh, and there are other one day specialist bowlers like Richardson and Adam Zampa.
Mhm.
So it's a very strong side. So it should be a very interesting series for India and for everybody.
Yeah, of course. And the Border Gavaskar Trophy has been quite good for India. And talking about the World Test Championship, Devashish, last day in office, you were explaining to me that what are the situations that India will play Australia and what are the situation India can't play in the final. So can you please describe that once again for our viewers?
India is definitely at the favorites at this stage to make it to the finals at the Oval for the World Test Championship, and also Australia are also the front runner. But because Sri Lanka, you won't expect Sri Lanka to go in New Zealand and win two Test matches against New Zealand. That's an uphill task because all every subcontinent teams have struggled in New Zealand in their own conditions. So it will be very difficult for Sri Lanka. But you never know if Sri Lanka can cause an upset. Then Sri Lanka can make a backdoor entry into the final of the World Test Championship, but it looks very bleak for me. But as far as Australia is concerned, Australia, if they lose 4-0 and Sri Lanka, if they go on to win, say 1-0 or 2-0, then then India can go meet Sri Lanka in the final, which is very unlikely, Ron. But let's put it this way because
Okay.
India and Australia looks to be the favorites to be in the final, irrespective of the result in this series. Because Sri Lanka, you cannot expect you don't. Means obviously, with all due respect to Sri Lankan team, you cannot expect them to go in New Zealand and win the series against New Zealand.
Of course. So anything to add, Atro, on this?
Well, not much, but it's a funny game. So You never say never until it is never. So
Yeah.
yeah, it looks like it's going to be India and Australia in the WTC final at the Oval in June. And but anyway, let's not look that far ahead. As far as India is concerned, their job is to qualify for the final, and which they have not sealed yet.
Yes.
They are almost there, but it's not 100%. So India would look to seal that spot by winning at least one more match in this series of the remaining two test matches. And Sri Lanka, as far as Sri Lanka goes, yes, as Debashish pointed out, that beating New Zealand 2-0 in out of two in New Zealand, it's going to be very, very tough for them, which I agree with.
Yeah.
And but we also must remember that Bangladesh had beaten New Zealand in New Zealand in a test match last year, and Sri Lanka had won in South Africa a few years back, and they remain the only Asian team to win a test series in South Africa. So funny things happen. Fingers
So
crossed.
let's take it this way: we do our job, and rest we'll see. And coming to that, Astra, when are you traveling to Indore?
On Monday, on 27th.
Okay. So we'll wait for more updates. We enjoy your coverage from the grounds of Batagavaskar Trophy, and we'll hope for more such stories and dominating India performance and India make it to the WTC finals. Thank you for gentlemen for joining, and we'll have lots in store today. Also, we'll have live show from the studio where Shubhan Chakraborty will be joining from South Africa on the big semi-final today. Thank you for
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
joining.
Goodbye.
Good night. Thank you. And coming to the other news from world of sports, we have the shooting world championship going on in Cairo, where India are currently have 6 medals so far. Yesterday, Ashwari Pratap Tomar won gold in 50 meters uh, men's 50-meter three-point rifle, and that was India's fourth gold. Yesterday, Rudramsh Patil won the men's 10-meter air rifle gold, and Tilottama Sen won bronze in women's 10-meter rifle. Varun Tomar and Ridim Sangwan won the gold in 10-meter air pistol mixed events. And coming to world of football, the UEFA Champions League is going on. We have seen Real Madrid getting a massive comeback against Liverpool in Anfield, 5-2 victory. And we'll have a detailed article coming up for you up next after the show in 12 p.m. So do watch our social media platforms. And yesterday's games in UEFA Champions League, Frankfurt lost 2-0 to Napoli, and RB Leipzig Man City went 1-1. So that's all for now. We'll have lots in store today. Main focus will be the T20 World Cup semi-final, India versus Australia, and Subhan Chakraborty will be joining from South Africa. That's all for now. We'll be back tomorrow with more updates, and thank you for watching.